Hello, everyone. This is based on a question that has been asked on what are the common mistakes of employers in the selection process when we make a selection. What are the common mistakes in selection process, and how do we overcome those mistakes? So you need to understand that selection is a crucial area, very important area in the human resource management process. Getting the right people for the right job is very, very important. At times, selection can go wrong. And I used to say that if the selections are wrong, many things can go wrong. In fact, more than 60% of HR problems in the organization can be avoided or will not be there if we make the right selection from the beginning. So remember, the selection process is critical for hiring the right talent, but employers often make mistakes. And those mistakes that the employer make can lead to poor hiring decision, and this will have an impact on the performance and even to the extent of legal implication. In a case where the employer terminates or dismiss the employee for poor performance, it might have legal implications. Now, I'm going to provide some common mistakes, and at the same time going to provide you with some of the strategies to overcome those common mistakes in selection. First mistakes of the employer is related to the job and also the description of the job. Okay. When you make a selection, when you are doing a selection, you need to make sure you are clear with the job description and job specification. Often employers make a mistake with unclear job description. They make a mistake. The job descriptions might be vague or overly broad. Job description can attract unqualified candidates or deter top candidates or good candidates. So you need to make sure, the solution is that you need to make sure you clearly define the role, the responsibility, the required skills, qualification, and use specific language to highlight key expectations. This you need to make sure you do it in your job specification. Remember, job description is about the job, whereas job specification is about the individual who can fit into the job. Then the second mistake, common mistake of the employer is that they overemphasize on resume or experience. So this is one of the common mistake, relying too heavily on resumes or past experiences without assessing the candidate's competency, which means that the skills, knowledge, attitudes, ability, cultural fit, or even the potential future for the future potential of the candidates towards a job. So one of the solution is that the employer, when they do selection, they can use a balanced approach in incorporating skills assessment, behavioral interviews. Behavioral interview is another area that we can explore. Behavioral interview, situational judgment, tests, to make sure you evaluate the candidate holistically. Interview is not just one of the selection methods. There are many selection methods that you can be employed, okay, in order to make sure that you get the right candidate for the right job. The number three, I've said 1, 2. Now this is number three. Number three is a mistakes, unconscious bias. Unconscious bias might refer to a situation where the interviewer favoring candidates based on race, religion, gender, can be age, educational background, can lead to unfair hiring decision, discrimination. So this is a pre-employment discrimination, not discrimination in employment as another part. But there are laws in countries that prevents this. Okay, so the solution can be you can implement a structured interview, blind resume review, diversity training for hiring managers, use objective criteria to evaluate candidate, training of the managers. In fact, instead of training the managers from the beginning, if you select the right manager, right leaders, is very, very crucial to avoid this type of biasness in hiring. The next one I can say is that there are times when the manager or the leaders rushes to make the process of hiring. Hiring quickly due to urgency or pressure can result poor hires. So the solution is that you need to take time to thoroughly evaluate the candidate, plan ahead, and create a timeline that allows a comprehensive selection process. Okay. Other reasons for the other reasons or mistakes, it can be like ignoring cultural fit. Cultural fit. What's number is it? I think number 5, cultural fit. Cultural fit, meaning that focusing only on skills and experience without considering the candidate's alignment with the company values, culture. This is another mistake that an employer can commit, and the solution can be to assess cultural fit during the interview, behavioral interview, even during team interactions or value-based questions. Do the candidate fit into the cultural values and the cultural fit into the organization? Okay. Number 6, I can say it is common. Poor interviewing techniques, asking irrelevant questions or theoretical questions, failure to prepare for interview itself can result poor interview. Okay. Managers, they can say they are very busy. I am very busy. I have too many things, too many tasks to complete, and I don't have a time to prepare for the interview. And this is a mistake that many managers will do, many leaders do. So in order to avoid, you can use a structured interview, good preparation. I can say preparation is very, very important. Look at the candidate CV. Okay, assess the candidate. Do some research about the candidate through social media, through search engines. There are many things that you can know about the candidate's past behavior. Okay, these are all very, very important in order to predict the future performance or the capability of the candidate. Followed by number 7, I can say is that neglecting a reference check. It's important you get a reference check. Reference checks, I can even create a video related to reference check, what you can do, what you cannot do. So if you skip the reference check and not asking the right questions, that is also a mistake. So the solution is that conduct a thorough reference checks to verify the candidate's skills, experience, work ethics, even the qualifications, whether the qualification is authentic or not, okay, where the candidate studied. Even you can ask this during an interview, what did they study? If you go through more detail, you'll be able to know more informations, and of course with the checking the reference of the candidates. Number 8, I would say the overlooking internal candidates. That's also a mistake. When you ignore qualified internal candidates who may understand, who may know the culture and the system, the process in the organization, and when you select from outside, when you recruit from outside, that is also considered to be one of the mistakes. So if you can, the solution can be to promote internal candidate. If the internal candidate is capable, that's also a motivation that you provide to your employees, that we look within before we look outside or external. Okay, that's also an opportunity that you give. You provide them growth opportunities. Okay, recognition and growth motivates the employee. Followed by, that's number 8. I think followed by number 7, I say failure to sell the role, not effectively communicating the value of the role, company culture, opportunity for candidate. That's also a mistake. So the solution for you can be to highlight the benefits of working for the company. What is the benefit of being in the role? What is the career development the employee able to, the candidate able to grow when they join the company as an employee? The work-life balances and also other benefits, perks, rewards, and a job environment, the working relationship that will help the employer to sell the role, sell to the potential candidate, especially talented candidates who will have many options before they make the decision. Number 10, I can say, is that the lack of feedback to candidates, not providing feedback to unsuccessful candidates. Many candidates, after the interview, they will be waiting to get reply from the employer, but there is no reply, nothing that has been communicated by the company, and this can harm the reputation of the company. So make sure, as a solution, you need to make sure you provide constructive feedback to the candidate, even if they are not selected. And this actually will foster goodwill and maintain positive employer brand. Remember, employer brand is very, very important. So if you don't provide feedback or communications, it's actually going to harm the reputation of the organization. The other thing, number 11, is that meaning that the employer tend to overlook soft skill, focusing mainly on the technical skills. The mistake only on technical skill, ignoring human skills, soft skills like the communication, teamwork, adaptability, emotional intelligence, especially if you are going to hire leaders, managers in the organization, I would strongly suggest you emphasize on the soft skills, human skills, communication skills, because the human skills, the emotional intelligence is very, very crucial. Okay, because the leader with good emotional intelligence will be able to retain their people well, will be able to motivate their people well. Study shows that people normally do not leave the company, but they leave their manager. They leave their manager because they are unable to work with a manager who has a very poor human skills or emotional intelligence. So you need to incorporate assessment, interview questions that is going to solve this problem. That's going to evaluate the soft skills and the emotional intelligence of the candidates. Okay, that's the solutions for number 11. Number 12, not involving the team in making a decision, making hiring decision without input from the team member who work closely with a new hire is another mistake that the employers or managers makes. So the solution, very important solution, is that involve key team members in the interview process as far as possible to assess whether the candidate fits into the team. Also to gather diverse perspective about the candidates. All right. Looking at the other reasons, there can be other reasons like outdated failure to adapt to the market trends, employer using outdated hiring practices that doesn't align with the current market trends and candidates' expectations. So the solution: interviewer, HR people, employers must stay updated with the industry trend, such as work-life balance, remote work preferences, and adapt accordingly during the hiring process. And number 14, I think the last one, number 14. Okay, there are more, but I will stop with the number 14 here, is that not setting realistic expectations, meaning that during the selection process, during the interview, you over-promise the role or company culture during hiring, leading to mismatched expectations. See, when an employee joins a company, he has different expectations. There must be a match in terms of the psychological contract, what the employer expects. And psychological contract is actually two-way. Employer expects the employee, employee's expectations towards the employer. If there is a mismatch, there will be frustration, and when it might lead to the employee leaving the company early. In fact, during the probationary period itself. So the solution for employers is that try to be transparent about the role, the challenges, the company culture to ensure alignment with the company's expectations. Okay. Well, I have given about 14 common mistakes that the employer usually commit in a selection process, and also strategies, what they can do to avoid these common mistakes. By addressing these common mistakes, employer usually can improve their selection process, and also able to attract talented people, top talent, and more informed about the hiring process for their organizations. I hope these informations that I have provided to you helps you to make a better decision, hiring decision or selection decision for your organizations. All right. Thank you so much for listening.